So tell us a little bit about this, the head-to-toe healing methodology that you use.
Something I came up with in 2001 after being a practicing healer for 8 or 9 years, actually 10 years. And I just realized that, one of the reasons why we're having so much trouble is because there's too many specialists. There's the eye specialist and the mouth specialist and the elbow specialist and the heart specialist and the foot specialist and the toe specialist, because the toe specialist and the foot specialist, they don't, it's different.
They're
right?
not talking to each other.
Right.
Right. About what's going on in your foot.
The spine specialist, there's all these specialists. So I went on a journey to figure it all out myself. And when I did that, I discovered that it all connected. And, I get attacked a lot. And sometimes when I'm called a doctor, I get attacked even more because I have a PhD and not a medical degree. So they like to really jump on me. So one day I just said, I was talking to someone and I said, you got to heal head to toe, blah, blah, blah. And it just a light bulb went off and I said head to toe because holistic just wasn't working. And I added the word healer and I adopted it into my name to protect myself from being accused of being a false practicing doctor, which I'm not. I'm not a practicing doctor. So.
Right. What do you think is up with that? I mean, what do you think is up with, I can see how the medical community might, they don't really like things that threaten their way, their sort of monopoly on healthcare and all the money that they're making. So I get that. I'm so curious, and I'd love to talk more about that too. I'm so curious about why people that you're trying to help would sort of get all rowdy about the offerings that you have.
The people that attack don't know the offerings. They don't peek their head in the hole. They choose to practice ignorance. And a lot of people think ignorance means stupid. It doesn't. It means ignoring. So they ignore what's happening. It doesn't matter how many testimonies we produce, which is the most in the history of cameras. And they just attack. They think that I'm a quack, a snake oil salesman, a grifter. I prefer fake doctor. We do produce merchandise saying I love my fake doctor, so there's people wearing my t-shirts out there. And certainly the medical system attacks back because I'm taking business away from them. So that's that.
Yeah. Do you ever worry? I know this sounds like a little extremist in conspiracy theory, but do you ever worry for yourself? Like I know people who...
Yeah, I have security. Security. Okay. I wrote a whole chapter in my book, Medical Monopoly, about it because I am famous on a small level.
Yep.
My social media following does spill out into the real world. I get recognized sometimes on the street, sometimes at Whole Foods, sometimes at Trader Joe's, and so I do have to be careful because I'm not selling air conditioners.
I think you do. I think you do. I have one of my friends who was an incredibly brilliant healer, and he has this system that he's like, I want to get back on. He's been on my radio show a bunch of times. He's like, I want to get back on your show. He's like, I know this thing I'm doing can cure cancer. And I was like, shh, don't say that. Like, don't say that out loud. I'm like, don't tell anyone that. Don't say that. I'm like, I know healers who have just died under mysterious circumstances. And I was like, please don't say that out loud. And then 3 months later, he was dead. And under very mysterious, like nobody, like it doesn't make sense, like what happened to him, or nobody can figure out what happened to him. And that's for real. Like
that's too bad. And I wrote a whole chapter in my book about it, the red book right up there.
Yeah.
And I talk about how there's been a lot of holistic and alternative doctors who have been unalived.
Yep.
And, you know, I choose to keep that in the books because freedom of speech is more protected in books,
right,
than it is with what we're doing right now. Because in order to get rid of the freedom of speech of books, you'd have to burn the books. You know, back in the day, they burned the books. Now you can't because you got Amazon.
Right.
So, but yeah, I do talk about that, and you know, I don't deal with the sea monster too much. That's what I call it, sea monster. See, he said the word. You see,
he said the word. I was like, don't say the word.
I don't say the word.
Yeah,
I say
smart.
sea monster.
Yeah,
and I don't talk about it much in public. Mammograms, biopsies, colonoscopies, this type of stuff. I'll mention it in public, but it's all in that book. I just go read the book, you know, like
it's really
$20 and you'll get my answer.
I'm going to read your book. Cause I've seen that, I've known about it, you know, cause I've been working in the, in the world of healers and for decades. And I've seen it happen, and that was so recent, and I'm still really rocked by it, honestly.
Yeah. And there's nothing that can be done about it.
I know.
It's just, yeah, the system is so powerful.
Gosh, dang it. Well, I'm so curious about so please be careful. I'm glad you have security, and please be careful.
Well, I accepted it before I came in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Part of your contract, I guess, of being here in the world today.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I do have a children's series. There's the other book right up there. And, you know, we have a TV show, and we have, books, and, you know, it's not too controversial. It's just don't eat junk food. And, you know, that's ultimately my end goal, is to merge into that and just be behind the scenes.